Do you ever completely crash after eating? I'm not talking about the typical hitting a wall after lunch. I'm talking about when you finish your food, all of a sudden your body feels heavy like it's filled with sand, your eyelids are heavy, your breathing might even slow down a bit. Maybe you're having trouble regulating temperature, you feel cold, and then an hour or two later you're shaky. If you have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, mast cell dysfunction, or POTS, there are a ton of reasons why you might experience these intense post-meal crashes. I have these conditions and this used to be the norm for me and still happens sometimes, so let's talk about it. First, it's important to know that in general, eating redirects blood toward the gut for digestion. Now in POTS, we have dysautonomia, where the autonomic nervous system, our body's autopilot, isn't controlling all of the physiological things that should just be running smoothly in the background. So in this case, our ANS struggles to compensate for these blood flow shifts. This means blood is not only directed to the gut for digestion, it ends up pooling there instead of being redirected back to the brain. And when less blood is available to the brain, we get all of these classic POTS symptoms: dizziness, intense fatigue, temperature shifts, you name it. On top of that, digestion just simply uses up a lot of energy to begin with. There's so much happening: coordinated muscle contractions, enzyme release, nutrient absorption. So if your energy is already low at baseline and you're already out of spoons, the simple act of eating can feel like a lot. There are other reasons too. So we have some research to suggest that people with hEDS experience steeper rises and falls in blood sugar after eating, especially after carb-heavy meals. This is called reactive hypoglycemia, and I'll cover it more in depth later because it really deserves its own video. The good thing is there are strategies to adapt your nutrition around these issues so that the post-meal crash doesn't feel so extreme. It's often helpful to eat small, frequent, balanced meals throughout the day. What that looks like is instead of 3 big meals, we're eating 5 to 6 small meals, 2 to 3 hours apart. And to support blood sugar and slow digestion, we're also balancing our plates with protein, carbs, color, and fat. Knowing this is one thing, actually consistently implementing it into our busy daily lives can be harder than it sounds. That's why I wrote an entire educational guide on what I call the mini meal method, with real-life examples and hacks to make it simple. I've also put this into a clean, printable PDF toolkit in case you want to have it handy for reference. Again, these are examples for educational purposes only, to make it super straightforward and simple. What you can do is take the methods and tools in the guide, personalize them for yourself, or even take them to your next dietitian appointment for personalized guidance. As a side note, many of these symptoms can also be a sign of mast cell reactions, which can be deeply connected to hEDS and POTS, but that requires a whole different approach on top of the mini meal method. I will definitely give more info on that in the future, but if you experience any of this, please talk with your dietitian and your physician. This is not a substitute for medical advice in any way, shape, or form. So thank you for being here, and I'd love to hear from you. Do you experience these intense post-meal energy crashes? Let me know below and comment post-meal energy crash if you want the link to the free guide and the printable PDF toolkit. Thanks.